It's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore, and we are in Yang's route, and it was a wild ride, that first chapter. I mean, damn. I mean, we got two gorgeous CGs out of it already, right off the bat. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle his route if he's gonna be like playing with us like that. Like, man, I thought things were going south in the beginning. In a good way. You were like, oh, hi, already? I have a feeling it's going to happen, but Jesus. I need the air conditioning. The air conditioning's on, but I need to make it colder in here because it's hot. I love Yang. Also, we got to see Dante without his fucking mask on, and God, he's beautiful. I'm so excited. Anyway. Dot. Huh? Where am I? I woke confused in an unfamiliar room. After a few seconds, I remembered what happened to me yesterday. This wasn't a nightmare. It was reality. My body felt uncomfortable, and I tried to sit up. I can't move. Something's heavy. Remembering my situation more clearly, I choked back a scream. In the bed with me was the sleeping leader of the Lao-Shu, still holding me tightly in his arms. His skin as bare as it was last night. I rushed to free myself from his arms and tried to get out of bed. I can't break free. Despite his peaceful slumber, he had a tight grip on me that wouldn't loosen. It's kind of funny that he, hugs you so tightly when he's sleeping. What am I supposed to do? As I struggled, I imagined how dark my days with the Lao-Shu would be. Oh, it's kind of cute. How dark they're going to be! And then we fall into passionate love with him. Oh, okay. I felt it deep down inside. The cheerful music does not, help her point. Breakfast was prepared in the dining hall. There were several types of porridge, some wrapped rolls, and fried foods lined up. One porridge seemed to have chicken and egg. It was slightly yellow with vibrant pops of green from the finely chopped onions. The porridge with white fish and scallops smelled wonderful, and there were pretty wrapped dumplings called... I can't pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. Anyway, they're dumplings. It's still morning, but they're eating freshly fried chicken. So she's like, wait, what? She's doing the same thing. They're like, yeah, fish, eggs. Well, okay, eggs, but fish, chicken, rice for breakfast. Meanwhile, everyone else looking at America. Pancakes? Yeah. But pancakes are good all the fucking time. Such a hearty breakfast seemed unusual to me. I couldn't help but stare in awe. As I looked around at the various dishes, a ceramic spoon appeared in front of my mouth. Open up. Don't burn yourself. What is it? Not going to listen to me? That's right. Good girl. You deserve praise. Oh my god, how many CGs does he have? He does not have as many as everyone else. I looked in the gallery, and yet we're getting them all right off the bat. Oh my god, are we sitting in his lap? Jesus. He does not have as many, the other people have 26, 20. He's only got 22. We do not get as many CGs with him. Although, maybe he doesn't have as many variations. Maybe they're counting, it counts as 28, but you get 22 different ones, and then some of them are, slight, well, his eyes are closed, his eyes are open. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what it's counting, because I didn't count it like that. But I'm he just has less, and we're getting them all right off the bat, bitches! Jesus. And even this, we're sitting in his lap. Anyway. Somehow, I was pulled into his lap. May I ask? What is it? Well, your hand. Is he groping our ass? You're touching me. I find myself bored otherwise. I couldn't help but tremble as he nonchalantly ran his hand over my legs. Just stop. Is that insolence? You wouldn't dare. You don't have the right. And besides, while the others are watching, You should behave accordingly. He whispered sweetly into my ears, and I knew he was doing it to be mean. If I may... One of the men timidly approached Yang, who glanced over uninterestedly. This woman is... I've decided she's my pet. It seemed the man didn't know about what happened yesterday, so was confused at the sight of a woman suddenly sitting on Yang's lap. I mean, we're also very confused at being the woman sitting on Yang's lap. I'm not. I'm quite okay with this. She is not, but still, it is a little like, I understand your confusion. I don't know how I got here either. She's much different from the kind of woman you usually bring. Changing types? Yang ignored him and spoke aloud so that everyone around us could hear. I'm going to feed her now. Don't bother us. What? Feed? Don't tell me. I'm his pet. You're like a cat. You have no sex appeal whatsoever, glaring at me like that. No sex appeal, and yet you pushed me down and we're gonna, I'm just saying. I was wondering why he pulled me into his lap to feed me breakfast. Finally, I understood his behavior. The Lao-Shu men, however, took it differently. Of course, we understand. We'd never lay a finger on your woman, sir. A different member from earlier looked pale and rushed to deny. Yang, about this situation. Fucking Orlock is like, the fuck? The young man entered the room, looking toward Yang, and suddenly stopped. He saw me sitting on Yang's lap and froze. His eyes grew wide in surprise. We're like looking at him like, help me. Oh, I sometimes see him at church. I felt relieved to see a familiar face, but a question immediately came to mind. Wait, if he's here, then does that mean he's affiliated with the Lao-Shu? I think it's like, why is she sitting on your lap, Yang? Wait, have you explained everything to her? And tell me what happened. Right now. How noisy so early in the morning, Orlock. Of course, I explained it to her. But she curled up in bed with me last night, so I decided to keep her around as my pet. I can see her appalled look on her face right now, like, that is not at all what happened. It's true that I did choose to sleep in his room, but the way he's saying it will give the wrong impression. The young man named Orlock was speechless, with his mouth agape. And thanks to her, I had fun last night. I think I'll be entertained for a while. Yang smiled thinly and held me by the nape as he pulled me hard, and stole my lips as if he was showing off. I moved my hand to push Yang's chest away, but... No, I can't do this. I'm currently Yang's... This display would guarantee my safety. That was why I accepted staying in Yang's room in the first place. But this is so... Everyone was watching us as Yang relentlessly violated me. Okay. He's kissing you. It could be worse, because he could actually be relentlessly violating you in front of people, and that would be so much more demeaning than what he's going to do later in private, probably at some point. Although, I mean, I get right now, it's still a violation. It could be worse. When we finally parted, I saw that something was dripping from Yang's thin lips. I couldn't... Ugh, gross slap. I hate it when they do that. You just ruined... you ruined a weird, harassing moment. Wait, what? I couldn't help but turn bright red and gave a furtive whisper that only he could hear. You're horrible, Yang. You said that you wouldn't be in the mood with a cat. What are you talking about? You're a human. What the... He was terrible. I realized once more, Yang was a cunning and terrible person. It makes it more fun because he's fucking with us. Yang, don't tell me. Last night you... Orlock. We know who he is. I mean... Orlock looked pale and asked him to confirm. You told me so many things last night. Right, Spacey? So, do you want the others to hear? You can at least wait until we're alone. I felt anger at his reckless words, but forced myself to smile and answer. Poor Orlock! Look at his sweet little face! He's like... Saucer eyes. Hearing my response, Orlock seemed shocked. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. Meanwhile, Yang seemed to be having fun watching me get mad and feel uncomfortable. And they disturbed us. Let's continue to eat. Yang once again scooped a spoonful of porridge and brought it to my mouth. You don't have to do all this for me. I can eat on my own, so... I said I'm going to feed you. Girl. I tried to decline, but he forced me to eat. How am I supposed to taste anything after he gave me such a kiss? Yet I found myself realizing how delicious it was. I wasn't used to this food, but it somehow calmed me. You may not like me. You may not like the Lao-Shu, but don't ever miss a meal. Even more so if you desire the strength to escape from here. Force yourself if you must. What? Yang spoke so matter-of-factly about the importance of eating. That was unexpected. However, your clothes lack a certain allure. Perhaps you're in need of new attire. Oh my god! I want to see. If you put me in new clothes, I need to see the outfit. I looked at my clothes and responded to Yang's comment. No, thank you. We're supposed to say thank you. Thank you. If you're appreciative, you must express it more joyfully. Oh. No. Saying it again would be terribly boring. You'll have to show me with your actions. My actions? How so? Entertain me. That's all I ask. But that's so vague. I just couldn't even imagine what I'd be able to do that would entertain him. He's so infuriating, you want to slap him. You want to kiss him and then slap him and then kiss him again. And then maybe punch him. But still love him all the same time. God damn. He's such an infuriating bastard. I love it. Yang really is enjoying her presence. More than usual. Yeah, that's a rare sight. But he could be acting on a whim as he does. I'm not sure which one of it. Is it Lon or Faye that's talking? Well, anyway.
This is about to get interesting. I'm curious about her now.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. If he just picked her up off the street, he'll get sick of her in no time.
After the meal, Yang brought me back to his room. Hardly any time passed before the door opened without a knock.
Yang, we're here! Did you call us?
Well, I can see why you'd call us in a situation like this. Yang didn't react to them and instead spoke to me. You remember I said I'd appoint a guard, and they'll be taking care of you. Okay, so we need these two are our Leo. Both of you stacked on top of each other can't measure up to one Leo, all I'm saying. These little children? Would make more sense that I'd be asked to play with them. Maybe they don't intend to watch me very strictly.
Hey, Yang! What are you gonna do?
I'm going to a meeting. Lee will come with me.
What?
I'd rather go to the casino with you than guard her. Oh, okay, it's still Faye.
Ah, gosh, you really don't take me seriously.
Yang ignored the boy and simply left the room. I watched him depart, my head tilted in confusion. A meeting? Wouldn't it be difficult to have a discussion in a casino?
No, let's introduce ourselves. This is Faye, and I'm Lon. We're twins.
The girl who claimed to be Lon looked at me with twinkling eyes. Lon.
Ever since I saw you this morning, I thought you were so cute. You look like a doll up close. Blonde hair is so pretty. Very nice.
You think so? I don't think it's a big deal. You're way cuter, Lon. Okay, she's your sister. Let's, not be weird, okay? I do like them, though. Don't get me wrong. But you're not Leo. You're not gonna be as good as Leo, but, you're alright. I might end up being I really love them. But they're not gonna love you as much as Leo. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Lon kept inching closer to me, but Faye was acting distant and cold. I like how she introduces herself last name, then first name in this. I think they've, forgot to flip that in the translation. Because I don't think she would know, and I don't know if that's, in Japanese you do last name, first name, but, I don't know if you do the same thing in Chinese, but, I just feel I don't think if you did, she'd know that. You know what I mean? Being Italian, she'd be like, what? I'm Spacey, Adornato. A pleased to meet you both. I introduced myself and thought, is there any way I can escape from here? If only I can get outside. I desperately thought and came up with an idea. Say, Yang told me I can walk about freely as long as I stay in Valeno. I remembered what he told me yesterday and brought it up to the twins.
Oh, we heard that too. Want to go out now? We'll show you around.
Thank you. I'd love that. I hope I can escape. Oh God, no. She's gonna kick our ass. He might, but I know she will. But even if I succeed, I'm sure someone will come after me. What should I do? If I did nothing, my life would be exposed to even more danger. I hope I can figure out something.
Hey, Faye, I think this girl's gonna get pretty far. Yang might keep her around a long time.
Why? You know she's not Yang's type.
This is women's intuition.
Woman, huh? You've never even had a boyfriend, Lon.
Hey, that's fine. I don't need a boyfriend. I have you, Faye.
Well, I guess so.
All right, then. Let's get going. Did you forget anything? Oh, you don't have anything, huh?
I think you should worry more about forgetting your wallet again, Lon.
Gosh, there you go again. I'm fine. So let's go already. But before that, Space, if you try to run for it, we'll kill you, okay?
What? Lon had the same happy expression on her face, but her point was crystal clear. She said it so brightly that I thought she was kidding. Her smile looked so carefree. A child this young? She can't be serious. Although I felt unsettled, I followed them out of Yang's room.
If you try to escape, I'll fucking kill you.
She would too. I feel a little intimidated. Among the districts of Berlin, Valeno was the one that I was least familiar with. The only time I ever came this way was for provisionings, but aside from that, I rarely visited.
Come on, hurry up! We'll show you around.
Sure, thank you. As far as I could see, the stores and streets seemed to be bustling. I occasionally heard people arguing, but there were a lot of people walking about. We passed by vegetable markets and clothing shops just like anywhere else. Huh. I stopped at what appeared to be a general store. There were decorative trinkets, baskets of various sizes, and a tapestry stitched in black and white. So many unfamiliar motifs. Say, can I ask you something? What kind of tapestry is that?
That's an animal called a panda. Oh, I see. They don't have any in this country, huh?
I've never seen the real thing either, but they sell stuffed pandas. Stuffed pandas? I wonder if there's something like a teddy bear. Thanks for telling me, you two. Pandas are cute. As we started to walk again, I got to thinking. Valeno might actually be a fun town. It's busy, but although it was lively, I know that it wasn't enough. The bad rumors existed for a reason. Peace in Valeno couldn't be guaranteed. I stayed vigilant as I walked, making sure to stay close to the twins so I wouldn't be separated, so they don't think I'm trying to run away. I don't want to die on accident. I'm going to tell you now, it's best that you don't walk into alleys.
It's easy to get lost, and in places like those, you meet a lot of dangerous people.
This is the two kids that can kill me. You're right. I'll be careful to stay away. I'm assuming they're like... so apparently we're supposed to be like 21. But like, I'm assuming when she's like, these kids, or play with them, you think that they're like 10, but I feel like they're probably supposed to be like... Maybe they're supposed to be like between 14 and 16. Like, younger teenagers. Maybe not quite 16. You know what I mean? They're old enough to try to kill us, but I don't think that they're like little kids. You know what I mean? But it'd be weird if she was like, oh, he wants me to play with them. They're like 14. What are you gonna fucking, like, what? Like, so I don't know. But, I nodded at the twins' warning and took a glance down a dim alley that we passed. Huh. A man's collapsed. Oh God, don't do it. Seeing the person lying on the floor, hearing his pain groan, I immediately ran over. I'd never go in there.
Me neither. She really doesn't know anything about Valeno.
I could hear them talking to one another. Though I knew it was a dangerous place, I still couldn't just ignore a person in need. I have a feeling he was trying to lure us in. Are you okay? Do you feel sick? Can you say something? No, she's like, they're like, don't go into dark alleys. Oh no, runs into a dark alley. I mean, I used to think you were a smart girl and you were like a pretty decent MC, but I'm starting to think that in this route you're going to be dumb as fuck because they literally just told you not to. And you did exactly what they just told you not to do. Huh? I ran over to the man who looked up at me weakly. The moment I saw his hollow gaze, I realized he wasn't in a sane state. The man roared at me, then gave a low growl. He wasn't acting like a human. He was a mad beast, barely speaking any words. Oh, he's on the drugs. What do I do? I panicked and stepped back in fear. I was so afraid because he was out of his mind and my legs shook. And just as I thought, I fell to the floor. I knew I had to run, but I couldn't move. Yeah, she's... Okay. I'll forgive you this one time if you don't act like a dumb fuck the rest of this route. Because, like, I understand being, like, scared and intimidated by Yang and, like, whatever, and, like, I get that. But, like, in this instance, like, oh, no! You're allowed one of these moments where you literally did what someone told you just not... Don't go in dark alleys! Goes in dark alley. No, I'm too scared to move. Okay. I'll give you one. But if you keep doing this in this route, I'm going to take back what I said about her actually being a really good MC and, like, you know, because no. No. Gosh, if you're going to be so scared, you shouldn't have done any of this. I mean, kid has a point. Faye is literally fucking all of us right now.
Faye's right. Besides, you just ran off and we didn't even have the time to stop you.
The moment I heard their voices, the man's body was violently thrown to the floor. That is a big-ass fucking sword, bro. Jesus, it's almost wider than his head. I gasped and looked up. They both had weapons in their hands. I was stunned and still in shock. The two children reached their hands out to me.
Okay, remember, you don't have to be nice to the people in this town.
If they collapse, they can stay that way and die. If not, they can get back on their own feet. This is the kind of place you're in. What? Their words surprised me. I took their hands and stood up. I mean, I wonder how she's going to turn. She's going to try to, like, make frickin' Yang softer, or are we going to turn into a cold, hard bitch? You know what I mean? Like, we kind of turned into Nicola's puppet in his bad ending, but we were like faking it for him. So, like, I don't know. That was so scary. The sudden attack still had me quite shaken. I mean, I guess this is within her character, but at the same time, they told you not to. So, like, it's not like she ran in there seeing a man and they were like, yeah, so you shouldn't go into alleys. And then they warn you after. Totally understand. Don't go it runs into alley. Don't punch yourself in the face. Punch yourself in face. What did I... Are you... My nose is broken. Yeah, you just... did what I... Okay. I'm just prepared because this is what happens. MC Atome heroines are usually like this. They're like... MCs and Atome heroines. And I just put them together. Whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. They always end up doing the dumbest fucking shit, and it's frustrating. And she's been so good up until this point. So, like... Anyway. Even though I was back in the bustling main street, my heart was still pounding. I took a deep breath and tried to regain my sense of composure. You get one, girl. You're done. Maybe the twins felt bad seeing me like this. They looked at one another, then ran into a nearby shop. Then...
Ta-da! We got you this!
What is it? They pulled out a round white bread. Oh, it's a steamed bun we bought at that shop. Go on, eat it. I'm sure you're hungry.
When you put something in your stomach, you calm down. Go on, eat while it's still warm.
Thank you. Okay, I like them. Not as much as Leo, but I like them still. I nervously took a bite. The fluffy bread was filled with ground meat and finely chopped vegetables. It was like the inside of ravioli, but cooked inside a very soft bun. It had a unique texture and taste. This is delicious. I didn't really feel too hungry, but once I started to eat, I felt as though I could eat the whole thing. Not only that, but Lon was right. I do feel like I've calmed down. Earlier, my hands wouldn't stop shaking, but the warmth of the bun relaxed them. And there are a lot of people like that now. It's their own problem if they want to do drugs. But But were they always that vicious? Nowadays, they've been more ferocious.
Yeah, they can't be dealt with anymore. They're going completely nuts.
Drugs before didn't have those side effects. It's kind of weird. You two seem knowledgeable about drugs. When I said that, they both grinned. Well, we are part of the Mafia after all. We're the Lao-Shu.
We do know a little bit about drugs. Isn't that neat? And that's because we're the Lao-Shu.
I see. Seeing as how proud they were, I couldn't help but nod. And you two are really strong. Thank you for saving me earlier. Upon hearing my expression of gratitude, their smiles grew wider with joy. And the twins confidently puffed up their chests with pride. Because we're nice to them. They're gonna like us. Yang's not nice to them.
Together, we're invincible. There's no one in the Lao-Shu who can beat us. That's why guarding you is a piece of cake. You can trust us.
Seeing them like this, they seemed just like children. But how they reacted to the man was very swift. Despite being children, they were able to knock down a grown man with a single blow. I knew it couldn't have been easy. And that's when I decided not to escape. These children will kill me. Yang must have chosen them to be my guards because he knows how capable they are. How did you two end up with the Lao-Shu?
Curious?
Well, that's why I fucking asked. Just kidding. You two look younger than me. It's hard to believe you ended up at the Lao-Shu. Among the men I saw at their base, Lon and Faye were by far the youngest. I asked, worried about their well-being, and the twins looked at one another. Lon and Faye smiled at each other, looking very proud.
We look up to Yang, so we chased after him and now we're here.
What? You look up to him?
Yeah, if it weren't for Yang, we wouldn't be here right now.
I wasn't expecting this answer at all. The two of them continued brightly. We're from... Oh my god, I cannot read that name in Hong Kong. Holy cow. Gaolong Sengzai? It's not how you say it, but there you go. Best attempt. Anyway.
In Hong Kong, Strato and Berlin is nothing compared to that place.
It's an even bigger, lawless area. We never had any parents, so we lived hard lives, just us two. The grown-ups saw us and they took so much from us. One night we finally got hold of some food and we're rushing to eat it.
If we eat slowly, it gets stolen.
And then these adults walked by, and then for no reason they started to hit us. Or maybe they did have a reason, but we don't know why. The buns we were eating fell to the floor. We fell to the floor just like they did, and we were punched over and over. I'm assuming it was Faye saying all that, because I was like, I tried so hard to protect Lon. In Gaolong Sengzai? Unfair violence happens all the time. I mean all the time. But that was the moment we were sure we'd be killed. Just then. Out of my way. Yang kicked all the grown-ups away. He didn't look twice at them or even us and kept walking. But of course, one of them got mad and started to pick a fight with Yang. And they said, "What the hell?" and grabbed Yang, but all Yang did was smile. Standing up to me, I respect your courage. But the rest was just a game. In a flash, he almost killed them all. He fought off a lot of them at once, but he didn't even break a sweat. Lon and I were so in awe while we watched the whole thing happen. And that was when Yang first noticed us. What is it? You like to see blood? No, it hurts. We don't like blood. Yang grinned and I shouted at him. But Lon and I were covered in blood. So you prefer your own blood, do you? How boring. Yang's eyes think coldly. He left the half-dead grown-ups in the alley and walked off. Thanks for saving us! I don't recall saving you. I was only getting rid of the trash in my way. We stared dumbfounded as Yang walked off. But despite our wounds, we sprung up to our feet. Let's go after him! Let's follow him!
If he didn't come, we would have died! We need to go now or tomorrow we'll...
And tomorrow, the next day, someone else in this town will kill us. We wanted to be as strong as him. I wanted to be strong enough to protect Lon.
I want to be strong enough to protect Faye.
For us, Yang was the first light we saw in the darkness of our lives. I like making him sound like such a good person, but he's such a fucking asshole.
So we ran after Yang and joined the...
I don't know how to pronounce it. I can't. Anyway. the other name I can't pronounce. She's like, the what now? Yeah. Lao-Shu's just the name we go by here. We're all part of the name you can't pronounce group in the homeland. Yang's one of that place's leaders. For God's sake, stop saying it! I can't pronounce it. I can't. They keep saying it. Jesus. Anyway. A few years ago, they gave him a job in Berlin and we came with him. I see. The story they shared so easily was harsh and unfortunate. Remembering what they told me, I suppose Yang has a nice side. That's the bad choice. I suppose Yang has a nice side. It's so funny. So he really saved you, are you sure? Yang really saved you too? To me, it just sounds like he just kicked the adults out of his way. It may be rude, but judging by his character, I couldn't help but question his true motive. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Of course we know that Yang didn't save us out of the kindness of his heart.
But even so, Yang saved us. That's the truth. They seemed to be interested in my response and smiled happily. No matter why he did it, we owe him. We thank him from the bottom of our hearts.
So we really love how strong he is and how nothing can hold him down. He looks like you see Yang for who he is. You sound promising.
Lon smiled even more cheerfully, but Faye shook his head. We don't know yet. I think you're quick to judge, Lon. Yang never gets attached. He hates getting bored, so he throws everything away. He's popular with women, but I've never seen him keep one by his side very long. So I'm sure he'll get bored with you fast and dump you when he's done. I can only hope. I mean, gosh darn, no.
Gosh, Faye, you're too mean. But maybe not. Everything he said was true.
I see. Hearing Lon affirm Faye's words, I only felt anxiety rise in my heart. You're like, I really hope he does dump me. Oh wait, he's probably going to kill me when he gets bored with me, huh? Damn. The end for Yang's women are never good. I mean, Yang is the head of the Lao-Shu. They usually die or end up in a situation where death would be better.
When you're with the leader, you hear lots of things you shouldn't know. So he won't just let you go either.
You're like, awesome. This is like, fuck. My choices: make him like me or just end up tortured or dead. Make him like me, obviously, but like, I mean, in her position, she's like, I don't like any of these. They think that I belong to Yang, but I'm really only a hostage for the Falzone. But even so, if I continue living at their base, I know I'll learn about the Lao-Shu's internal affairs. Even if the qualms between Yang and the Falzone are resolved, I don't think he'll let me go back to my ordinary life afterwards. I had such a bad feeling come over me. I was so anxious I could barely stand. To shake it off, I tried to change the topic to something that was on my mind earlier. So, I wanted to thank you two for saving me before. Is there anything I can do to repay you?
Then, snacks! I saw one in Krita before. I want that! It has a weird name, but it has lots of layers. It looks so crispy.
It may not be a croissant. If it's a kind of puff pastry? Was it a sfogliatella? I can't pronounce that anyway. A shell-shaped treat made with layers. Oh, a shell-shaped treat made with layers of pie crust. We can't pronounce that word either, but it's a little bit easier to attempt.
I think it sounded like that.
They looked so excited, so I tried to remember how to make it. Okay, I think I can make that. I made it at the church before.
Really? Thank you! I'm so happy!
Thrilled, Lon gave a big smile and jumped up and down on the spot. You shouldn't get so happy over a snack. She didn't even make it yet. Faye turned the other way coldly, but I could see his expression had softened, and he appeared a bit fidgety. He too looked happy.
We sometimes do
yum chai in the afternoon? That's like cha, is it? Anyway.
Maybe you can serve it then. That sfogliatella bun. We'd be super happy.
What's yum cha? Yum. It sounds like... We prepare tea and snacks and talk together. Yang often joins us. I didn't expect he'd join. Can't imagine Yang having a fun tea time. Maybe it's a custom of the East.
Hey! If you still have energy, let's go shopping! Right, you're gonna be living with the Lao-Shu. I'm sure you need some things. You should buy what you need. You gave us some money so we can buy anything. What do you want?
Why don't we buy the stuff to make the things, or treats? Ooh, rendezvous. Hold on. Oh, dear, I tore it back. I mean, it's Yang. Oh, damn it. Look, I love him too, but like, come on. And there was a floor in the casino where general customers were forbidden to enter. The back was perfect for private meetings. However, it was extremely rare for the Berlone Mafia bosses to gather together. A truly unusual sight. Lao-Shu has abducted a woman of the church. This cannot be forgiven. Arca's neutral ground. What's the meaning of this? Are you prepared for the consequences? I'll face your consequences, Dante. I love him. I do. I love all of our boys so much. That's right. I suppose for you two it may be hard to believe, but I fell in love with her at first sight. Dante's like, bull fucking shits. Gilbert's like, I mean... And normally these two wouldn't be so transparent in their emotions. But it was obvious that neither of them believed a word. Their expressions were very entertaining. I gave a thin smile and continued calmly. Naturally, I brought her back to my place in Valeno to seal the deal. And now she's very happy with me. There's no room for you two. There is room in the Spacey Man harem for all of our boys, Yang. Shh. I'm gonna need you to be quiet. And don't talk unless I tell you you can speak. That's basically how he's treating us, so... Turnabout, right? What the hell are you saying? Yang, if this really is a love story between you two, we outsiders have no business in that, but... I calmly interrupted Redford's train of thought. I apologize for my use of force back in Arca. I was simply blinded by love. Their faces just say so much. I know they're the standard faces for the sprite, but they just speak volumes right now of like, no. They're both like, no. I'll not cause any further problems in Arca. Is that enough for you, Falzone? Or is there a reason why my involvement with her would be an issue? None. Do as you please. If the Arca case is resolved, then we're good. And now let's get to the main point, Yang. I got a question about the recent distribution of drugs. Seems y'all have been more active lately. What exactly do you hope to accomplish here? You have a mind to wipe out half the people of your own district? It's nothing worth mentioning. I merely provide a supply to the people who demand it. They're wholly incapable of having pleasant dreams without my assistance. But if they keep taking it, it'll eat away at their bodies and they'll drop dead. Indeed. Those as strong as you may find it difficult to comprehend. For the disenchanted and depressed, it's how they manage their negative emotions. What might they do when their supply runs out? These are things I consider. I returned Redford's glare with a smile. Do you wish to come to the rescue of those who chose to escape into a dream world instead of facing their reality? Valeno is your territory. Do what you like. I like how Dante's just pretty much like, whatever. Whatever, don't care. Just whatever. Right. It's not our business what happens in Valeno. However, if this affects the rest of Berlone, I won't stay quiet. I assume the Visconti won't either. I see. How frightening. I should brace myself for the possibility. Like how he's just like, oh, whatever. I thought about it. Oh, welcome back. Yang returned to the room late at night. You're still up. I felt sort of guilty sleeping before the owner of the room did. Besides, I have no idea what you might do if I'm sleeping. You have a point. It's boring if you don't react. In any case, you'd be forced to awaken. I couldn't tell if he was joking. It was difficult to tell. So, What's that? This? I bought it today. I showed Yang the cover of the book I was reading. It was a collection of Shakespeare's works. Yang raised his brows, uninterested. Shakespeare! I can read the word Shakespeare! An English poet and actor who often hailed... Oh, an English poet and author often hailed as the greatest writer of the English language. If I have to be here for a while, it might help pass the time. I can also forget reality while I'm reading a book. I see. Do as you please. He was clearly uninterested. I closed the book in my hands. I'll read it to you. We can reenact Romeo and Juliet. I also bought some sleepwear and things I need to live here. And Lon and Faye saved me today. Saved? Did something happen already? You better not have left Valeno. Well, I summed up the events of the day. Yang appeared uninterested, but he did seem to be listening. A strange drug is circulating Valeno, and it seems very popular. I carefully chose my words, watching carefully to see how Yang would react. I carefully chose my words and watched him carefully. A lot of carefullies. Carefully? This carefully district is carefully... This district is under the Lao-Shu's rule, right? Isn't there something you can do to regulate it? Regulate? There's no need to regulate it. Why not? Because it's the Lao-Shu that are distributing it. We would be squeezing our own necks. What? But it's a dangerous drug. The kind that drives people mad. Have you not heard of the Opium Wars? Not long ago, the United Kingdom brought opium into China illegally to profit off the exploitation of 40 million addicts. I'm only returning the favor. However, our opponent isn't the United Kingdom. Listening to him talk about it so nonchalantly, I was at a loss for words. It's true, the United Kingdom did something abhorrent. But I still can't bring myself to agree with his stance on it either. All his actions are doing is increasing the number of people suffering in this world. Thinking of those living desperate lives due to the drugs was painful to think about. I'm sleeping. Come. He walked toward the bed, ordering me to follow, but I shook my head. No, I don't want to sleep with you. I'm gonna sleep on the floor tonight. I see. Do as you please. For someone who told me to come to him, he seemed unattached and smiled thinly. Because he doesn't want you to know how much he actually is sad that you're not going to sleep with him. But you were lucky. If the twins weren't guarding you, you could have died. What do you mean? And the addict you encountered was likely taking a new drug. The red peony. A new drug? The effects are a temporary emotional high, and that alone isn't that different from others. But its addictive properties and side effects are far stronger. Eventually the addict's body will break down, and they'll die. Put simply, it's worse. Their hallucinations sometimes lead to murder, while others simply overdose and die from shock. You'd think you wouldn't want a drug that, they take it once or twice and then they die. That just means there's less addicts for you to sell the drugs. I mean, yeah, eventually, but you'd want them to be we want them around as long as possible so that they buy more drugs. But if we give them a drug that it just seems like you're dwindling your demand pretty fast. I'm just saying. Yang spoke about it so casually. I thought back about the time I was attacked, and a shiver ran down my spine. If it weren't for the twins, I would have been murdered. Exactly. Come to think of it, Faye and Lon were saying... There are a lot of people like that now. It's their own problem if they want to do drugs. Or were they always that vicious? And nowadays they've been more ferocious.
Yeah, they can't be dealt with anymore. They're going completely nuts.
I don't think they know exactly what he's doing. They know that they're dealing drugs, but...
Drugs before didn't have those side effects. It's kind of weird.
This drug, the red peony, is being distributed by someone other than the Lao-Shu? Precisely. What an interesting story this is. It's probably... Well, Roberto hasn't shown up in this aside from in the prologue, but I'm like, okay, I don't think Roberto would do that. He went psycho trying to protect us and was going to kill Nickel and all that crazy stuff because he was in love with us. And, it was for his crazy justice. I don't think he'd feed people drugs. My banking is on Dura Torre this time. And I think Look, I was always banking on him to murdering the Mafia, but it makes sense that Roberto was doing it. Because he hates the Mafia and it was justice. There is no justice for him in like, well, if I give them drugs, that... I mean, I guess you could argue by handing out the drugs in Valeno and then it makes the Lao-Shu look bad and then maybe the government... I just feel like that's not... Shooting members of the Mafia seems a little bit like a faster... I feel like this would take too long, and I don't think Roberto's about that slow-paced life. Like... But... Direttore doing it? Maybe. Because he got something going on. He's doing some kind of shit in the background. And he magically popped up in this route in the very beginning, and it's like, wait, hi, what are you doing here? So I'm just saying. You know what I mean? He seems a little more prominent in this one, especially question mark, man. He was fucking Direttore without his mask on. I'm sorry. Fight me. But anyway. Can we read this? Anyway, precisely. What an interesting story this is. Do you plan on doing anything about it? Earlier, Yang said that there was no need to regulate it. A new drug was being distributed to the district that the Lao-Shu ruled over. As the head of the Lao-Shu, he shouldn't just ignore it. Hey, Yang, could it be... I tried to ask him another question because he only smirked and didn't answer me. But his expression grew annoyed, as if he found the whole conversation tiresome. Sorry. Didn't I tell you that I was going to bed? Let me sleep. Or... did you want me to play with you more? I mean, yes, but I'm gonna guess she's gonna say no, but... Yes? Question mark. He glanced at me as if he were appraising me. Play. This is where we save, so I'm guessing that's the bad answer. We have to save 3. I can't believe this. Play with me. I want to choose that so bad. Play with me. Yes, play with me. He's gonna play with me until I die. We're gonna end up dead, so. Good night, sweet dreams. You're boring. Sadly, I don't like sleeping alone. His words don't match his expression. He swiftly took off his shirt and I rushed to avert my eyes. I mean, she's rushing to avert her eyes and I can't even read that he's not even saying anything. I like the fact that in half his route he's going to be topless like this. It's not a problem. I felt like he was smirking a little. I could hear the bed creak as he lay down. Tonight, I'm going to sleep on the floor, no matter what. Letter. I don't know if this is Emilio or if this would be Rosberg, right? We're just going to read normal. I took the note tied to the carrier pigeon's foot and read it under a light. Within it was a report I couldn't believe. Okay, it's Joseph, whoever Joseph is. Oh, that's Rosberg, isn't it? Yeah, okay, that's the first name. She's already become Yang's... My voice shook with shock and anger. The woman of the prophecy was not to be touched. This is why these pagans... Unable to suppress my irritation, I cursed the man who wasn't present. The reason why I lent Orlock to the Lao-Shu was so he could guard the girl. If the girl no longer has value, he can leave immediately. Since I've already paid them, I can't simply back off either. So, what to do? My thought took my pen. Interesting. It was not to touch her. She's been befouled. I mean, technically, because we have to sleep with Dante in order to unlock the... That's the whole thing. Direttore? Oh, it's Lee. This has become a strange story. I wonder why I didn't act until you told me about it. Maybe your sense of loyalty prevented you from taking action. You have a point there, but now I know. I'm better than Yang. For the well-being of the Lao-Shu, I should become its head. You're actually going to oppose him? Interesting. I feel like, okay, you can't tell me if he's like trying to... He's like, you're so much better than Yang. And you're like pushing him, and then you don't think he has anything to do with it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Direttore is a shady-ass bitch, and I love him. As I watched my guest walk off, I thought, let's wait for a while and see. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. I really don't, but I love it. Oh, tonight I'm gonna sleep on the floor no matter what. There's no way I'd want to sleep in the same bed as this man. Although the floor was hard and cold, I felt that I'd have a more peaceful night than yesterday. Chapter 3 already? Wow. I mean, I just feel like rage. Oh. I feel like his chapters are like Dante's seemed to be a pretty long route. Nicola's was a little bit shorter. Well, because he only had 8 chapters versus 9, and like Yang seems to be going pretty fast. I mean, we got through the first chapter in the first part. Like, we might get this. I mean, okay, we won't get through the 3rd chapter, but like, I mean, damn. Well, was it like that for Nicola's route? I can't quite recall. I don't think it was short, but. Yeah. Today's breakfast porridge was cooked in chicken broth, lightly salted and topped with Chinese parsley. At first, I wasn't used to eating here, but I had become accustomed to it. It had been a week since I was taken to the Lao-Shu's headquarters. Sleeping on the floor, my god, my body hurts just thinking about it.
Hey, have you heard of Pandoro? It's a yummy snack, right?
Yes, since it's autumn now, some panaterias may already be selling them. Panaterias? Panaterias? Probably enunciating that wrong, but anyway.
I want some! Let's go buy some!
Pandoro was a famous northern Italian snack. As the year came to an end, many bakeries stocked piles of them and sold them.
No, Lon. If we leave Valeno, Yang will be mad. I know that, but I want a Pandoro.
Lon seemed to slump, being clearly sad about it.
I heard Pandoro means star bread, so it's shaped like a star, right? I can't even picture it. I want to see it. I want to try it. No point in pounding Lon. We need to stick by her side. Yang told us not to let her out of Valeno. There's nothing we can do about it.
Aww. Why don't you two go buy some? In the meantime, I'll just stay in the room.
No!
Why not?
You're at the Lao-Shu's headquarters. It's dangerous for a girl to be alone. If Yang were here, it'd be fine if we left. But if Yang's gone, even if you lock the room, I wouldn't say it's safe.
I see. But Yang told us that if we're his property, nobody would touch us. You think someone's going to still try to touch me? Think I'm not going to tell? I'll tell on you to your boss. Having them point that out, I officially realized how dangerous a place I was in. I'm sorry. Just because you're my guards, you two have to live a limited life. I felt so bad for them, but Lon gave me a bright smile.
Don't worry about it. I'm curious about the Pandoro, but it's more fun being with you. Yang said we can walk around Valeno, though, so why don't we go out shopping again?
Thanks, you two. Teach me about Valeno, okay?
Of course! Hey, when do you want to go out next? I can go out right now.
Valeno was a dangerous area, so we had to stay cautious, but rather than spending my time idle in the Lao-Shu headquarters, it was more fun to go out with them. I'm not going to read that line. I saw it when it ding ding automatic. I was like, it's going to start. No. Yang looked into the situation with Lee. Find him. Just as you thought, he's been acting alone. At the very least, he hasn't reported to us. He may either be receiving specific orders from the mainland, or he could be acting of his own volition. We don't know. But I don't think it's smart to leave him be. Indeed. I lightly affirmed my subordinate's concerns. I'd already sensed that something was beginning to move in this town. Yeah. My life here was cramped and painful, but that really got my mind off of things. In the daytime, Lon and Faye took me outside, and at night, I stayed in Yang's room. Yang would sometimes return and sometimes not. As we repeated these days, I began to grow accustomed to my life here. And when he's not here, I get to sleep on a bed. It seems you're often in town lately. We were seated at breakfast as usual when he mentioned it.
Right! We go out with her! I find it very fun! The panda is Spacey's favorite! Yeah, every time we go to those shops, she's always looking at it. I think she's saying hi to it.
Oh, well, that's... I rushed to chime in. There's no reason in particular. Well, it is adorable. I mean, it's a panda. They are fucking cute. I tried to come up with an excuse, but I couldn't think of anything. So I just decided to be honest. Well, it is adorable. The panda? Yes? You want to say that it's immature? It's fine. I know it myself. With that, I turned my face away. Suddenly, Yang started to pat my head. What are you doing? I protested while holding back my hair, and Yang spoke indifferently. And don't sulk like that. I don't mind what you like. Oh, thank you. But if you want one so badly, why don't I bring one back from the mainland? I'll refrain, thank you. I don't really think you should be bringing bears into captivity. That's actually, you're like, I kind of appreciate the offer, but I just don't think you should have a panda shipped over here. I mean, it was 1925, but pandas are too stupid to figure out how to mate, or they're too lazy. And there's not a lot of pandas, and that's why there's a lot of pandas in captivity. And they have to, and they're going to be endangered because they'd be endangered already if humans didn't get involved. And we're like, pandas, please have panda sex, for fuck's sake. So I'm just saying, I don't think you should take any more out of just don't do it, Yang. There's not enough pandas as there is. Leave the pandas to the zookeepers. Besides, I never said that I wanted one. Yang saw me flustered and smirked, but I do think it's a kind of adorable that he offered. He's like, I'll get you a panda. And you're like, why would you get me a panda? You hate me. Oh my god, you actually do kind of like me, don't you? We were almost finished with our meal when Yang spoke as if remembering something. Or, here's what I think is funny too, maybe somewhere underneath. Like when he knows who we are on the roof, right? But he was like, oh, women always just falling over me and like throw themselves at me and whatever, and that's boring. We're like, ugh, you suck, sleeping on the floor. We want nothing to do with it. He's like, whatever, you're boring. He's like, why don't you like me? Everybody likes me. I think we hurt his self-esteem a little bit by not like throwing ourselves at him. We're like, he's gorgeous, but he's a psycho, so nuh-uh. And then he's like, I'll get you a panda. And you're like, yeah, no. And he's like, why doesn't she like me? I think we hurt his feelings a little bit. His feeling. He has one feeling, singular, and we hurt it by not being in love with him right away. We were almost finished with our meal when Yang spoke as if remembering something. Perhaps we can bring something to Lee. To Lee? Yes. Take him 49 steamed buns. Understood. The man receiving orders from Yang nodded, looking stiff. On the other hand, Lan's and Faye's eyes sparkled.
What is it, Yang? Are you gonna cut Lee off?
49 steamed buns. That seems like that's a bad thing? I mean...
Yeah. If you want, I can do it.
It's still too early. But he needs to be reminded. Seems that he has the wrong idea.
Did something happen at the last meeting?
No. Nothing happened.
Huh? And shouldn't everything be good?
Faye cocked his head. Yang wasn't smiling anymore. Was he trying to say it was a problem because nothing happened? To a certain extent, I'm giving Lee the freedom to act on his discretion. But that doesn't mean that he's released from the duty to report to me. Lee has been commanding his men to do things, but he hasn't informed me of those actions.
So he's hiding something from you.
Yang stayed quiet. Lan and Faye looked at one another.
Hey, Yang! We'll deliver those for you!
I've put you two in charge of her.
That's why! I want Lee to meet her. We'll introduce him to your girlfriend.
What? Suddenly being pulled into the conversation confused me.
Please? Yang, please?
I don't want to go...
You want to go too, right?
The pressure I felt from Lan was so high that I couldn't say anything. Introduce... Yang seemed to have mixed feelings at the twins' forceful urging. I was wondering if it's because he's not in Valeno and she just wants to be we'll introduce him and then we're out of Valeno and see we took you out of it and now we can go to the bakery. That's the only thing because I'm like, what else is she doing? It seems a little odd. He might say no. I had a glimpse of hope. Do as you please. What? We're like, I don't want to go. And he's like, go. What? And there's no point in reasoning with them. It's just a waste of time. I give up. I can't believe they were able to persuade Yang.
And when we hand him the steamed buns, I'll ask him what's on his mind.
Fine. But you know he won't tell you anything. So just keep him in check. If you leave him without warning him, it may lead to something annoying. And if he pulls something that will draw the Falzone's and Visconti's attention, it won't be fun.
Really? I'm not scared at all, even if they have their eyes on us.
And that's not the issue. I will choose the opportunity to strike. If Lee has something interesting up his sleeve, I'll need to have my fun as well. It wouldn't do to fall behind. I could understand the words he was saying, but I couldn't understand the idea behind it. Rather than preventing trouble from happening, he seems to be welcoming it.
We'll be back in time for Yum Cha. Come on, let's go! We'll lead the way!
I'm really not up for this.
It's fine! Hurry!
Faye and Lon each grabbed an arm and took me into the dining hall. I'm really curious, but we're gonna wrap this part up here, so. Oh my god, he's got... Not in this chapter, but in chapter 4, another save file 4. I'm just scrolling quickly. Let me see. Okay, so we got 4 bad endings. He's only got 8 chapters, though. He's got 4 fucking bad endings. And he's got his, like, obviously his tragic bad ending, which is a lot of CGs, which is just amazing. He's got 4 other fucking bad endings, though. What's this? See alt bad ending 4 if you want a quicker way to get to the ending without going through new dialogue. No, I want to go through new dialogue. Oh, you could just go get bad end. Okay. But he's got 4 other bad endings. Like, that's just fucking ridiculous. Like, holy shit, Yang. I mean, it makes sense because he's gonna fucking kill us. You know what I mean? In all those endings. But anyway, we will continue here and see what's going on with this. I'm just really confused. I'm so curious, but we can't get to this, you know, until the next part. I'm just so curious as to why she pulls us out. We might not find out, but maybe we will. I think because he couldn't possibly not be in Valeno. Maybe he is. But then that would be Yang giving us permission with them to leave. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.